FBI Special Agent Kenneth Jensen had one package, 0.4 nanograms. Break time, 500 meds, invisible to the naked eye. 61 years of waiting, one eye storm from silence. The Midnight Paradigm. At the Midnight Paradigm, we examine cases science couldn't touch. Mary Theresa's story, the lab that finally named him. 1964. The analog years. Elmira, New York. Mary was 12 years old, the youngest of 4 children. She carried an Elvis Presley fan club card. Her parents had separated 9 months prior. She lived with her father, Ellsworth, just returned from Hammondsport. That Sunday, she left the apartment at 3. She visited her mother, Rose, an unannounced hour. Then a cousin's house. She left around 6:30. Around 7, she was seen near a store. On East Market Street, that was the last confirmed sighting. Her father waited. 10:30 came, then 11. Ellsworth Simpson reported his daughter missing to Elmira police. Did the man who killed her ever leave the city? Murray lived in Elmira 40 years after the murder. He drove the same streets. He became a grandfather. 300 interviewed. Not one of them was him. His name appeared in none of it. What the evidence missed was not an absence of work. It was an absence of technology not yet invented. 4 days later, a hiker found her body. 7 miles southwest of downtown Elmira, a hillside above Southport, concealed deliberately. Branches, dirt, leaves, 4 heavy stones. The largest stone weighed over 100 pounds. Her glasses recovered. Her fan club card recovered. 2 objects that outlasted every detective on the case. The Chemung County Medical Examiner conducted the autopsy. Cause of death asphyxiation, evidence of sexual assault documented. What was done took the examiner 3 pages. The record requires it, and she deserves it. The Elmira Police Department began interviewing, methodically, thoroughly. By October 1964, over 300 questioned. $1,000 reward, local radio and the Star Gazette. By 1972, $5,000. Never collected. What strikes us, this investigation was genuinely thorough. The man they sought was never questioned once. Alfred Raymond Murray Jr. was born in Elmira in 1931, Korean War veteran. U.S. Army, 1951 to 20,959. Truck driver for Mayflower Van Lines. Married. 3 children. He had prior arrests. Offenses involving children documented before 1964. This is documented in the EPD's 2026 public statement. Repeated criminal involvement over decades involving offenses against children. Murray had never submitted a DNA sample. So here is the system gap we need to understand. CODIS only matches people who've been swabbed. Avoid qualifying offenses, and you stay invisible. Murray died on March 16, 2004, peacefully. Age 72, 40 years, same city, never a question asked. Meanwhile, Mary's sister Linda was picking up the phone. Once a year, sometimes more. Always the same answer. Decades on, nothing new to report. 61 years. But here is the detail no one discusses. The freezer. In 1964, Elmira detectives placed Mary's clothing in cold storage. What if the evidence was invisible to the naked eye? In 1964, detectives placed Mary's clothing in a freezer. They had no concept of DNA. The science didn't exist. That freezer preserved 0.4 nanograms of biological material. 1/2500th of a billionth of a gram. Invisible. The full forensic genealogy investigation pinned in the comments. In 2000, NYSP Forensics received Mary's clothing. Semen found on her blouse. A male DNA profile built. In 2003, the profile entered CODIS, the FBI database. The CODIS database returned no matching profile. Murray died the following year, March 16, 2004. 1 year between first CODIS exposure and his death. This case was about to change, but not yet. In 2014, the case came back to the laboratory. NYSP used YSTR, a more sensitive male lineage marker. The STR traces paternal line. Male relatives, not just individuals. Still no match. Murray was dead and unswabbed. 2 CODIS submissions, 2 silences, 11 years between them. Here's where this case turns unexpectedly. Sergeant William Goodwin had been working this case for years. In 2022, Goodwin found Season of Justice, a grant. Founded 2020. Already 218 cases funded, average grant $9,000. Goodwin applied to Season of Justice, approved. In February 2023, the evidence was submitted to Othram Technologies, Othram, based in the Woodlands, Texas, specialized in degraded DNA, forensic-grade genome sequencing applied to the last 0.4 nanograms. But first, the evidence had to get there. Jensen shipped it via FedEx, packed in dry ice. The Memphis FedEx hub shut down. Ice storm. Dry ice was finite. Jensen couldn't reach anyone. Why did a national database miss him for 11 years? In 2003, Mary's DNA profile entered CODIS. No match returned. In 2014, they resubmitted using YSTR analysis. Still nothing. Murray had prior offenses but no DNA swab taken. CODIS only catches people who are swabbed. He never was. The full breakdown is pinned in the comments. Jensen called the FBI. Agents searched the frozen hub. They found it. Moved it to a bureau freezer. Consider what was nearly lost in that Memphis facility. The last 1,964 evidence. A FedEx box. A storm. We read this case file. Then we read it again. The evidence arrived at Othram. The sequencing began. FDGS building a full SNP profile from degraded material. The profile went to public genealogy databases, GED match style. FBI forensic genetic genealogy specialists began building extended family trees. Bristol Sage College joined, Dr. Lane and Dr. Kunkel. Their Criminal Investigation Resource Center students conducted genealogical research. Over 2024 and 2025, interviews were conducted with potential relatives. The tree narrowed. 1 branch, 1 family, 1 line. The name that emerged, Alfred Raymond Murray Jr. He had been dead 20 years and wasn't finished. To confirm the identification, investigators needed DNA from his remains. What came next would be without precedent in Elmira's history. But before the exhumation, Murray's son was contacted. He gave a DNA sample, unknowing what it confirmed. NYSP Forensic Investigation Center analyzed the sample. Paternal link confirmed. Son's DNA meshed the crime scene. The tree converged on Alfred Murray Jr., proof still required. In November 2025, Kemong County Court authorized the exhumation. The first court-authorized exhumation in Elmira Police Department history. An NCMEC forensic anthropologist from Detroit led recovery. Remains were submitted, DNA extracted, compared against SCIRT Item 7A. Random match probability, less than 1 in 320 billion. Per the NYSP Forensic Investigation Center's official report, Alfred Murray killed Mary Theresa Simpson on March 15, 1964. Alfred Murray was 32. Mary was 12. He was, the Elmira police believe, a crime of opportunity. Murray and Mary Theresa had no known prior relationship. He didn't live in her neighborhood. One crossing. February 10, 2026. Elmira. A press conference was called. Elmira Police Chief Kristen Thorne stood before cameras. This is a historic day for the Elmira Police Department. Justice after almost 62 years. Those were her exact words. Linda Galpin, Mary's sister, was present. Age 78. She had been calling the Elmira police for 61 years. "I'm just glad justice was finally done," she said. "I always said it would never happen in my lifetime." She was 16 when Mary disappeared, same household. When Mary was killed, Rose was already pregnant. Rose brought one child into the world, buried another. Neither Rose nor Ellsworth lived to hear Alfred Murray's name. This is the oldest U.S. homicide solved by DNA evidence. The 18th New York State case Othram has solved. This case forces a question we cannot avoid. How many bags sit waiting for a decision like Goodwin's? Season of Justice, 218 cases, $9,000 average, $9,000, 61 years of silence resolved. The Innocence Project documented 375 DNA exonerations since 1989. This technology names killers. It also frees the innocent. What this investigation showed us, the evidence was always there. The science simply had not arrived yet. If this case moved you, the full investigation awaits. Full breakdown pinned in the comments. Next case drops Friday.